إلا بالله العلي العظيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله ثم الصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على سيدنا ونبينا وطبيب نفوسنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الهداة المهديين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. أما بعد قال الله تبارك وتعالى بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن السمع والبصر والفؤاد كل أولئك كان عنه مسؤولا. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Continuously, we are discussing about the topic of rights and laws prescribed in Islam. Meaning, yesterday we started about the right of our hearing, what we should listen and what we shouldn't. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, Inna sama'a, your hearing, you will be accountable for that. Wal basara, you will be accountable for your eyesight. Wal fu'ad, and you will be accountable of your hearts. Kullu ulaika kanu anhum mas'ula. Allah will ask about all these parts of the bodies on the Day of Judgment. Inshallah, today, the subject we left, we will continue with that. And inshallah, we also discussed about the rights of husbands today, inshallah, when we finish this. Yesterday, we said that one of the sins performed with our hearing is to listen music, okay? The definition of haram music and halal music, we wanted to discuss this furthermore. Music is playing instruments. This is simple thing, okay? Playing instruments known to be music. And singing songs by rotating voice in throat is known to be ghina. That is definition of ghina. So if someone is singing song, maybe sometimes people they sing song with alati musiqi, with instruments of music, or sometimes song is on its own self. So what is the definition of haram music? All first of all, we have to understand that all instruments which are forbidden instrument, and we discuss about them. All instruments which are forbidden instrument, playing them is haram. Okay, whatsoever tunes come out from forbidden alati musiqi instrument, that is haram. Now there are other instruments which are non-forbidden instruments, alati musiqi, non-forbidden alati musiqi. If someone is playing non-forbidden instruments of music, so if they are, like for example, playing in a tunes which are not appropriate for the gathering of lahw laib, okay? Now the scenario is different. You know, the alati musiqi, the instruments are halal, for example, but the tune which is coming out, that shouldn't be suitable for the gathering of amusement, like for example, parties. So how we can understand that this music from halal instrument, is it a halal tune or haram tune? So of course, you have to ask people, those who are, for example, they have experience in this music. They will tell you if this tune is suitable for majalis of lahw laib or not. If that is suitable for majalis of lahw laib, that tune is also going to be haram, although it's being played with non-forbidden alati musiqi. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And I said that before, that there are alati musiqi instruments which are only for the purpose of haram tunes, okay? So buying and selling them, it is haram. Playing them, it is haram. But there are certain, for example, they have both benefit. Halal music can be played or haram can also be played. So of course there is a ikhtilaf between fuqaha in regards to those instruments which are for the use of halal tune and haram tune as well. Okay, but there are certain things we have to understand that the certain instrument, you could ask me, what are the Mawlana instruments which are halal, for example? So first of all, I would like to reply that this is not our experience, and we don't have such experience to tell you that which instrument is halal. But there are instruments mentioned in the narration of Aimma Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam, which are clearly mentioned and said these are the haram instruments. At the time of Aimma Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam, that they had lut and barbat. Okay, in Arabic language, they say oud and barbat. That is translated as lute. So lute is haram instrument. Like mandolin, tambur, tumbur, they call it tumbur. So that is also mentioned in riwayat of Aimma Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam. So that cannot be played. So likewise, flute, mizmar, in Arabic language we call it mizmar. So if someone wants to play mizmar, flute, and want to say that this music is like, for example, halal, this tune is not like, for example, for the gathering of lahwul aib, you can't say that, because lute itself is haram. So every music which is coming out from it is going to be haram, because the instrument itself is haram. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The other thing is daf. Someone asked me, Mawlana, daf is allowed? No. Daf is also mentioned according to the narrations of Aimma Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam. Tambourine, daf, it is also not halal. Now, meaning, in our time, we have these are the instruments at the time of Aimma Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam, for example. Now we have many new instruments. Okay, what is the law about them? The law is, all of the fuqaha, they say, if the instrument is for the use, mostly for the use of haram tunes, whatever the instrument is, if the use is mostly for haram tunes, that alat musiqi instrument is going to be haram. Haram means you cannot buy that or you cannot sell that. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So this is about music, alat musiqi. Now we come back to the definition of song, singing song. There is a concept of ghina. Ghina, what is the meaning of ghina? Ghina is songs of vain statements. Vain statements. Sukhane batil, we say in Persian language. Vain statements. Songs, sometimes they are with music or sometimes they are not with music. So if the statement is not vain, okay, that is like, for example, qasida. Qasida is madh of Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. So when a man is reciting qasida, that is of course in tune. Okay, there is a sur, for example, they did tune for that, for every qasida which we recite. So the qasida is a halal, which is not said in those tunes which are haram tunes. Like, for example, if we are getting the tunes from the songs of Hollywood and Bollywood and we are saying qasida of Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam on those tunes, of course that going to come under the category of a ghina. Please concentrate. If the qasida, tune of qasida, the way of reciting qasida is copied upon the music from Hollywood and Bollywood, that's going to be haram. That's come under the category of ghina. This is what all fuqaha alayhi rahmah they said. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. But those tunes, even Quran Majid, for example, if someone is reciting Quran Majid, like for example, we have Qurra, Qariyan Quran from Misr, they have, of course, they recited, when you go and see the qiraat, like for example, Abdul Basit or other, reciters of Quran, they recited in tune, they recited in lahn. But that lahn is specifically for Quran. In ghina, of course, there is also one criteria, which means ghina is haram, which is played with, sung with inappropriate tunes. And in the definition of ghina, we also say that ghina is the song in which you rotate the voice in your throat. Okay, that is also one of the explanation and definition of ghina. But if the tunes are, if a man is rotating the sada, awaz, the voice, but the tune is not from, like for example, music, as I have said. So of course that tune for Noha and Qasida is going to be halal. And likewise Quran, when they recite, they rotate voice in their hulqum. But that tune is specifically for Quran Majid. That's why All of the fuqaha, they said it is halal to listen to the qira'ah which is read by qurra, because that is Islamic tune. Okay, so those who are reciter of the qasida, what they have to do, of course I know that they do this, they have to make tunes, and they do not have to copy from others like Qariyan Quran they do. And even previously, I know good reciters, I can mention the name as well. But they are the one before Muharram, or even in our family in India, before Muharram, whenever there is new Marsiya or Noha, they make lahan and tune for this. But the tune is for specifically related to Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam. So we have to keep our azadari, basically, mu'mineen, and manqibat, mahafil of Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, pure from alat musiqi. Now the thing is, I explained yesterday, previously we used to ask Noha Khan or Marsi Khan or Manqabat Khan that not to copy the tunes of the songs. Now what are happening? They are using the instruments. Okay, so the instruments, of course, there is a question mark. Even the instrument, if you say it is halal, so of course the tune which is coming out from that, it's not necessarily it's going to be halal. So because that's why I have listened to the qasaid from Arab reciting qasaid with alat musiqi, they are haram because they are tarb hour. You can, like for example, feel joy and you can dance upon those musics. So in ghina, we say the ghina is haram, the music is haram, which takes you out from normality, for example. Okay, if a music is being beaten, although if it's from halal instruments, for example, okay, but the tune is in a way that man wants to dance, for example, okay, that's going to be haram. So the qasaid which are being recited in Arabs, for example, the qasaid of Aimmat Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam, likewise within Iranian, they are not approved. So we have to be very much vigilant, and we have to ask and request these reciters to stop using alat music in qasaid of Aimmat Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam. If we are not going to do that, what will happen? There will be no control in future. There will be definitely no control in future, because that's going to end up with haram music, definitely. So that's why, mu'mineen, we say our Aimmat Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam, they don't need such things. Their qasaid, their fada'il, they are not in need of to have, like for example, alat musiqi instrument to be played. No, this is disrespect, I could say, towards Aimmat Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam. So we have to ponder, we have to understand, and we have to come out from the situation which is now being created in Iran, in Iraq, also in our society. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now, some of the narrations from Aimmat Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam, ghina, okay? So, manqabat also can come to the category of ghina when it is recited on the tunes of, I said, Bollywood, or with the instruments which are haram instruments, or with those instruments which are halal instruments, but the tune is a haram, for example. So that qasida is going to come under the category of ghina. And that amal is not sawab, mu'minin. That is going to be iqab, because for ghina there is no excuse. Ghina is haram in the religion of Islam. And there are consequences. Riwayat, they say, Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, in one of his narrations, he says, Baytul ghina'i la tu'manu fihi al-fajia. The house in which ghina is being played, okay, it's not secure from major calamities. Wala tujabu fihi ad-da'wa. Allah will not accept dua in that house. Wala yadkhuluhu al-malak, and malak is not going to enter in that house. You see? So musics and ghina, they take away a lot of blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from our houses. Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, Al-ghina yurithul faqr. Ghina brings you poverty. Likewise, he say, Al-ghina'u ruqyatu zina. Ghina, songs, they take you towards adultery. And this is reality, mu'minin. If you go out, what happens? The songs which are haram, for example, they play it with music. And then the second stage is, like, for example, dancing, as I have mentioned before. And after dance, what happens when a man is dancing? He obviously is not giving respect. The dance is against the concept of viqar, okay, ubaha. If a man is shaking his body, so of course he is not giving respect to himself. So that disrespect will take him towards other immoralities, which is known to be zina, and mentioned in the narration of our Imam alayhi salatu wasalam. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So, I mean, this is the sin from which we have to refrain our hearing. Ghana, alat musiqi, and also from ghiba. And then, inshallah, we all know that, there is a haqq of our hand, as I mentioned yesterday. Haqq of our hand is what, mu'minin. So we do not use our hand in the to make oppression upon anyone, okay? Or right of our leg. Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam, he says there is a right of your leg. So you don't go to the places which are haram, for example, okay? So we use our legs, our feet to walk towards the destination which are permissible. And haqq batn, of course, we have to eat halal, because if anything haram goes to our body, there are consequences upon our spirituality. So when we are earning, the earning should be halal, from halal resources. And of course, when we are buying food, that must be tahir and pak and zabihawan. So this is the right of our batn. Now, mu'minin, these two rights which we discuss about them, right of nafs and right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is related to Allah and us. Now today, I would like to discuss about the right of husband. There are certain rights and laws related to husband which wives should follow in the religion of Islam. And this haqq is questionable on the day of judgment. And according to some narrations, we understand that Allah could forgive haqqullah. Okay, if I have haqq, I have not recited namaz, for example. So maybe it's upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is His right. Okay, He can punish or either forgive you and send you into Jannah. But huququn nas, the rights of people, until the time that person is not going to forgive you, Allah will not forgive you on the day of judgment. That is known to be huququl ibad. So in relation to husband and wife, there are rights, some certain rights of husband, wife should fulfill. There are certain rights of wives which husband should fulfill. And inshallah, we will discuss about them tomorrow. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. One day at the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a lady came to Rasulullah and said, Ya Rasulullah, I'm not satisfied with the ahkam you explained. So Rasulullah said, what happened to you? So she replied, men are allowed to go to Jumu'ah, for example. They are allowed to go Jama'at, frequently. They also allowed to go to Hajj whenever they want to go. And they also participate in jihad. And we are the one who are asked to stay at home, so we have less opportunity to gain the thawab. So when she came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and she explained this question, and she said, this is not my question. I am the messenger of other women. Then Rasulullah said, this question is the very best question. I have to reply to this question. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, al-jihadul mar'ati husnut taba'ul. There is a jihad, of course. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave certain responsibility to men and certain responsibility to women. So the responsibilities are divided in the religion of Islam. There are certain things men could do and there are certain things women can do. So Rasulullah, he says, jihadul mar'ati husnut taba'ul. What does that mean? It means, taking good care of your husband is the sabab of jihad for you. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And that's why, mu'minin, fuqaha, they say, if a mu'mina wants to, like, for example, achieve the sabab of jama'ah, for example. So, her husband is not allowing her to come to MCE, for example, for the sake of example, we say. So if she makes intention, I recite namaz maghribain, although I am at my house behind Mawlana in MCE, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala write for her the sabab of jama'ah, although she is reciting that salat at her house. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, if you are fulfilling the responsibility related to your children as an husband, and although you are staying in home, you are not participating in janaza, for example, or Jum'ah, for example, or Jamaat, for example, or Jihad, for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you all those sabab, and that is hidden in being good wives towards your husband. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now, I mean, of course, as all of us we know, and I always explain, it's not wajib upon ladies, okay? Rights of wives, inshallah, we will discuss tomorrow in detail. But it is not wajib upon ladies, our wives, to cook the food or take care of our children, okay? This is what we have to be straightforward. Okay, maybe some men, they will not like, but this is haq, okay? When we speak about the huquq and the rights of women in the religion of Islam, so we have to bring the prospect of Islam itself, okay? The custom within our society is different thing, okay? The custom of our, societies in Arab, in Iraq or Somalia, or for example, in different countries, the custom of leaving muashara, adab of muashara is different. But the law of Islam says nothing is wajib upon your wife. Even cooking food, cleaning your house, it is not wajib upon her. Taking care of your children, it is not wajib upon her. Feeding, like for example, milk to your child, it is not wajib upon her. Okay? And she has total right to charge you for the services she is providing to you. So this is when this is established. But on the other side, we have to understand that, there is akhlaq, husn muasharat. When couples come to the engagement and they get married, so of course, if a man says, this is not wajib upon me, and woman say, this is not wajib upon me, of course, the house is going to be destroyed. That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and Fatima Zahra salamullahi alayha, Janabi Khadija salamullahi alayha, they gave example how to live in a household. So when Fatima Zahra salamullahi alayha, she came with Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam and asked Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya Rasulullah, divide our work. So Rasulullah said, bringing bread to home and working out of the house, it is a responsibility of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Okay? And the work which is related in house, like for example, cleaning, cooking food, that is responsibility, moral responsibility. Please concentrate. Moral responsibility of wives and ladies, not wajib responsibility. Bringing food is wajib upon a husband. Okay? The work and household is a moral responsibility of wives. So that's why, mu'minin, we see the life of Fatima Zahra salamullahi alayha. She did everything. Like for example, upbringing of Hasanain alayhi salatu wasalam, washing their clothes, making food for Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam, or even Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, serving a guest of Rasulullah or Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam. So with the seer of Fatima Zahra salamullahi alayha, we understand that every mu'minah should follow the moral duty which is related to her to keep the environment of a house to be in peace. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. So, husband shouldn't say that this is not wajib upon me, okay? We have to do certain things which are mustahabbat, okay? I know there are certain husbands, they say, no, this is not wajib for me to take you, like for example, to the ziyarat of Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, or to take you out for tafree, for example, to picnic. Of course, maybe this is not wajib upon you. But spending on your family members, it is highly, highly recommended. If you are gaining wealth, where you are going to spend that wealth? And there are many, unfortunately, I have seen, the families who end up with talaq, for example. They say, husbands, they don't want to spend their money. They want to keep it for their retirement. So, of course, saving for retirement is good. But you shouldn't be stingy towards your family members. If your child has necessary need, it's wajib upon you to take care about uh, his expenses. And likewise, wife. It is responsibility of husband to fulfill all wajibat which are related to her, and likewise to do some more mustahabbat to keep the environment of house to be pleasant. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So wives, they should do khidmah towards their husbands. These are the morals and akhlaq of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. And the ladies of Ahlul Bayt, if you start from Janabi Khadija salamullahi alaiha up to Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. The moral ideal ladies who live their life, all of them, they serve their husband and children. And that's why Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, wa ayyuma imra'ah, any lady, khadamat zawjaha sab'ata ayyamin, serve his husband for 7 days. Serve her husband for 7 days. Aghlaq Allahu anha sab'ata abwabin nar. Allah will close 7 doors of hell upon her. Wa fataha laha thamaniyata abwabil jannah. By giving, doing khidmah for 7 days, Allah will open the 8 doors of Jannah for her. Min ayyiha sha'at. Tadkhulu min ayyiha sha'at. She can enter into Jannah from whichever door she likes. So serving husband for 7 days. So that, minimum, this is an example. You shouldn't say, I'm going to serve you for 7 days. I achieve my Jannah. There is no liability upon me. No, this is the way of mentioning sabab. If you serve for 7 days, so what if you serve for entire life? Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. If Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, if a wives give a water when a man is asking to provide him glass of water, there is a sabab for that. I remember, when I was in Hausa, my teacher used to call me, Mirza Jawad, bring me some water. And he used to say, of course, I can stand and drink the water, but I want you to have sabab for that. Okay? So sometime when we are asking, of course, husband, they shouldn't always make a habit to sit on the sofa and, commanding wives to bring this and that is, in certain limit, that is fine. But if he's becoming like, for example, extreme, he's on extreme, even if you are fulfilling the hajat and question of your husband, there is a sabab for that. If he asks for, like, for example, tea or water, Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, if the wives give water to husband, Allah will write sabab of 1 year worship in her amal, just by providing the water. 1 year worship, the year in which she fasted for the days and worship the other time during the days. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make 1 castle for her in Jannah, and likewise 70 sins are forgiven for her. So of course Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He wants to encourage husband and wife to take care of each other when they come to the contract of marriage and aqd. And this is the examples which we see in the life of Janabi Khadija salamullahi alaiha. Janabi Khadija, it was not wajib upon her to give her wealth to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was wajib upon Rasulullah to provide the nafaqah of Janabi Khadija salamullahi alaiha. But she said, because the mission is the mission of Islam, the Rasul is a Rasul of Islam, Khatamul Anbiya. If I'm not going to spend my money upon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then where I'm going to spend that money? I can see some question from ladies. They say, Mawlana, we earn money. The money which earn, that is belong to us. Of course, that is belong to you. But you spend upon your children and upon your husbands, of course, that is sawab. And this is seer of Janabi Khadija salamullahi alaiha. And that's why one of the ladies, wives of Rasulullah, who married Rasulullah later on, when Rasulullah used to remember Janabi Khadija salamullahi alaiha, and he used to cry, she said, Ya Rasulullah, she was old lady and I am younger than her. So why you remember her? So of course she was not happy with the attitude of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, remembering Janab Khadija and crying for her. So Rasulullah said, Janab Khadija, she's most respectful lady for me, most respectful among my wives. Why? Because she believed in Islam, and she said Muhammadun Rasulullah when all kuffar Makkah, men and women, rejected my message. So she is the first lady who accepted a religion of Islam. And the Rasulullah said, she supported me with all of her wealth when other put sanctions upon me. Okay, this is second reason Rasulullah explained to that wife. And the third reason Rasulullah said, I like more Khadija than others. The reason is simple, because my generation continued with Fatima Zahra, who is in the progeny, who is daughter of Janabi Khadija Salamullahi alayha. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Another example, Mu'mineen, how to serve husband for wives is Ruhma. Janabi Ayub, his wife. When Allah took everything, his sons, his wealth, agriculture and plants, land, all of them, they burn. Allah put him in examination. Sabr Ayub, all of us, we know. Everyone left Janabi Ayub alayhi salatu wasalam, even those who were his followers. Okay? All of them, they left Janabi Ayub. But always with him was her wife, Ruhma. She used to take care about Janabi Ayub alayhi salatu wasalam. She used to put him on her back to move from a place to another place. So these give us example for our ladies especially, that of course there are times in our life, hardship time and good times. So we have to take care of our husband when they are struggling, for example. All of us in our life, we have good times and bad times. When there are good times, wife, of course, all of them, they are there. When man is going through struggle, for example, he lost his job, he lost his status, or maybe he got certain problems, his income got decreased, for example. So at that point, wives should show strong support towards the husband. That is, of course, going to, create the good environment for even themselves, and that household is going to be, of course, definitely namuna for their children as well. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And Mu'minin, of course, there are wajib hajat. Wives, there are hukuk of wives. If a man is not fulfilling them, she can ask. But on the other hand, wives should not be so much demanding. I'm speaking all these issues because these are the things, if all family members, they take care, of course, there is no noba, natija, or end up with talaq, for example. Okay? So wives shouldn't be so much demanding, I want to buy this, I want to buy this, I want to buy this, because this is not in the seer of Aimmat Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam or wives of Aimmat Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam. Janabe Fatimatu Zahra salamullahi alayha, we remember that when Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam, on many occasions, when he entered into the house, for example, and he asked Fatima Zahra to provide him food. Food is necessity of life. Day to day, we have 2 to 3 meals, for example. But what happened? Fatima, one day, she said, we don't have anything from a couple of days. So then Ali ibn Abi Talib, he said, why didn't you ask? Why didn't you tell me? So I could have buy something from her. So Janab Fatima Zahra, she said, I don't want to put you in awkward condition. In awkward condition. So of course, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam, he had a lot of responsibility because he's wasi and wazir of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And for food, even for food, necessity of life, Fatima Zahra salamullahi alayha never ever demanded. That's why there is a narration from Ali ibn Abi Talib. He says, وَلَقَدْ كُنْتُ أَنْظُرُ إِلَيْهَا فَتَنْكَشِفْ عَنِّي الْهُمُومُ وَالْأَحْزَانُ. Whenever I look at Fatima Zahra on her face, I forgot all of the pain I felt, I had from outside. So when a man is entering into the house after working, for example, 12 hours, it is the responsibility of a woman to welcome her husband and to create an environment, man can say, I feel peace when I come back to my house. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bari digar salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I remember that even Janab Fatima Zahra, when she said there is nothing at home, Ali ibn Abi Talib came out and he borrowed some money and he saw Miqdad, he is crying. He asked Janab Miqdad, he said, we don't have anything to eat at home from couple of days. So Ali ibn Abi Talib gave that borrowed money to Miqdad so he can buy food for himself and family members. And then Ali ibn Abi Talib came to mosque. He recited namaz, and after namaz, Rasulullah said, "Oh Ali, don't you want to invite your father-in-law?" Rasulullah, I want to be your guest. Ali ibn Abi Talib, for a while, he started pondering and then said, "Okay, Ya Rasulullah, let's go to the house." When he came back with Rasulullah, he saw there is a food behind Fatima Zahra, and Fatima Zahra, she is in mihrab, okay, doing ibadat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Beautiful and very good smell of the food. When she finishes namaz, Ali ibn Abi Talib, because when Ali ibn Abi Talib asked her for food, she said, we don't have anything for a couple of days. Now when he's back with Rasulullah, Ali ibn Abi Talib, he asked, "Oh Fatima, you said there is nothing. Where this food came from?" So Rasulullah smiled and said, "Oh Ali ibn Abi Talib, this food came from heavens for you, and this is awad and the reward for the money which you gave to Janab Miqdad alayhi salatu wasalam. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad." So Mu'minin, Ali ibn Abi Talib, from Ali, Fatima to Zahra, never ever demanded anything. And she fought for Ali ibn Abi Talib, for the Khilafah and for Fadak, for example, concept of Fadak. Through in relation to Fadak and Khilafat of Ali ibn Abi Talib, we understand that if there is a problem for husband, so even wives are allowed to protect husband, even if they have to go out and give, like for example, Gawahi and Shahada. So this is, we learn from the khutbah of Fatima to Zahra salamullahi alayha. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now, Mu'minin, these are the things which are generally mentioned. How to be a good wife. There are certain haqq and law which they have to follow. How much time do we have today? 6 minutes, yes. The first thing which is wajib upon lady is ita'at, being obedient to husband. Being obedient to husband in halal things, for example. Rasulullah says, La ta'ata li makhluqin fi ma'siyatil khaliq. If husband is calling you towards haram, there is no ita'ah. Okay, so first responsibility of husband, wife is to do ita'at from husband in halal umur, for example. And the second responsibility of woman is not to go out without the permission of husband. And this is, unanimously accepted by all fuqaha, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made husband to be manager. Okay. So it is a responsibility of men to protect woman. So he must know where she is going. So that's why clearly it is mentioned in hadith of Aimma Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam that going out without the permission of husband, it is not allowed. This is right of men. So when wife is going out, she must inform and take the permission from husband. Rasulullah said, Naha Rasulullah an takhruj al mar'atu min baytiha bighayri idhni zawjiha. Rasulullah asked women not to go out without the permission of husband. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. وَلَا تَخْرُجُ مِنْ بَيْتِهَا إِلَّا بِإِذْنِهِ. There is another narration which says she mustn't go out except with the permission of husband. So this permission can be, not like being boss or like being employee. Okay, they can come with muhabba to the conclusion. Man should explain to the woman should understand in good environment. Now going out, for example, wajibat. For example, Hajj became wajib upon wife. So there is no necessity to ask for the permission from husband, okay? Because she's going out from house for wajibat. What if she wants to visit her parents and husband doesn't allow. In that case also, women, they should seek permission to meet their parents from husband. Is it clear? But if in a scenario husband is not being genuine, for example, he wants to make you, put you in a problem, he's not allowing you to visit your own parents. So because sila raham is wajib, okay, so wives, they can go some of the times without the permission of husband to see their parents, because they are performing another wajib. Seeing parents come under the category of sila raham, okay. So sila raham is allowed for them. So of course, we have to keep in our mind, husband, all of the husbands, that if you want to keep good environment of our house, of course we have to allow them to go and see their parents. Stopping them is not appropriate and accepted in certain case in the religion of Islam. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The other haq of a woman, right of man, the zina, beauty of woman, should be only for her husband. This is haq of men. And also one of the right of men is to keep iddah when she is taking talaq from her or he is dead. So of course there must be iddah. These are the rights of husband which he should fulfill. And another thing is istimta. Istimta means, I'm concluding now, whenever man he wants a relation, she shouldn't be stopping. This is also wajib upon her, and this is haq zawjiyat, which should be fulfilled, inshallah tabarak wa ta'ala. With this, we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us strength and tawfiq to follow the footsteps of Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the appearance of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. If there is any question, inshallah, regarding our topic on day-to-day basis, because we have less time, so inshallah I'm here after iftar and dua. We can discuss while iftar or after iftar. Salli ala Muhammad wa